Hey guys, Silverlord here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Core Class Rat Trap. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, this is Simple for today. We're taking a look at Rat Trap. He is a core class figure, part of the Transformers Kingdom line, which is the third installment of the War for Cybertron series. Next season's going to hit Netflix any day now. I think it's supposed to come out either this month or next month, so pretty stoked about that. Wonder how the Maximals are going to play out in that. But as far as I know, also, it's brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, but you already knew that. But as far as I know, Rat Trap was kind of the jokester of the team, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was a bit of a comic relief character, and he kind of seems like it, especially based off his character design. He's got the buck teeth and robot mode for crying out loud, but really cool figure, really small. The core class is basically, if you're familiar with the Cyberverse Commander class stuff, from Dark of the Moon and Transformers Prime, or the Legends class they've been doing, particularly with the there's a Shockwave in it that I have. I think they're called Legends class, but it's basically a Legends class figure, a modern Legends class figure. So he's about $10, and that's not a bad deal for this little guy. He's almost the height of a deluxe class, believe it or not. We'll take a look at that in the size comparisons, but looking at him, he looks pretty good for a little figure. Not too shabby. So articulation on this guy, he's got a swivel in the head, can look up and down a little bit. He does come with his blaster here, which, did it separate into two parts in the show, or was that just something with the IDW Deluxe figure? I think that would have added a little bit to this guy. But again, the size, the price point, I can understand why they didn't do that. But it does go in his hand nice and tight. I don't know if it goes on the back anywhere. Maybe it does. Maybe it goes into one of these tabs. But I'm not too sure on that one. But correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I don't believe he's got any weapon storage. His shoulders do move forward and back as well as in and out, but they are positioned a little odd. The front here is typically what would be the side. We're used to most of the arms being positioned kind of like this, and you could still do that technically. You can rotate it, but you ain't going to be able to rotate the arm down unless you pop it apart up here, which I wish this tabbed in a little bit more snug. It doesn't really, so it's a little bit loose in that area. But he's also got a ball joint in the elbow. It gives you a little bit more than 90, ever so slightly. That, or it's exactly 90. But it does also give you your rotation. Nothing in the wrist. That's to be expected. No waist swivel. Again, to be expected. He's got a lot going on down there. He's got ball joints at the hips that move in and out, forward and back. He's got a single joint at the knee. That gives you a little bit more than 92, I think. It also gives you your rotation. Now, you can give him a double jointed knee if you want, if you use the transformation hinge there. But I just like to keep his legs like this and use this hinge. These hinges down here, these ball pegs are tight enough to maintain their position in robot mode. So that's how they're going to stay. And then he's got some pretty solid ankle movement. He's got a ball jointed ankle, but you do get a little bit of tilt out of that. You get your swivel, and you do get a bit of up and down. So not too shabby for a little guy. I've definitely seen worse from this scale of Transformer, especially back in the Dark of the Moon days. But getting the gun back in his hand, it is a little tight, the gun, so he's definitely not going to lose it. And, I say this is loose, but it stays in place. for the most part, even when he's holding his gun, which is, again, a bit large. You would think he'd carry more like a pistol or something, but it's really like a rifle. That's why I have him two-handing it most of the time. That's what she said. But there you go. There is a Rat Trap core class in his robot mode. So before we get this guy transformed into his beast mode, let's take a look at some comparisons. Taking a look at some comparisons for robot mode, here is Rat Trap next to his fellow Maximals, the Voyager class Optimus Primal and the Deluxe class Cheetor. And is it me, or does he seem a little short here? I feel like he was a bit taller in the original series, but I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments about that one. And last but certainly not least, there are two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus and the Mortal Kombat 11 spawn. So with that being said, let's get this guy transformed into his beast mode. And here we have good old Rat Trap in his beast mode. And if you thought this guy couldn't get any smaller, you're wrong. Here he is. We're right up on this guy. So, yeah, he's a little rat. See his little rat face. And, much like how my aunt feels about Black Arachnia, my mom feels about Rat Trap. She does not like mice nor rats, so yeah, not a fan. But he's pretty much a static figure. You can move the back feet a little bit to adjust him to get him to stand, but other than that, you can remove his gun from his hip. Kind of wish it's stored in here somehow, but sadly it cannot. I mean, it sits in there. All they had to do was integrate a way for this to tab in like this, and it would have been a little bit better hidden, but I guess there wasn't really a way for them to do it effectively, we'll say. Trying to see, maybe you could peg it into the hand now. So, yeah, it would have been nice if they could have found a way to put the gun in the bottom, but alas, that is not. But his tail does move up and down a little bit, not a lot though, and then his front legs don't really move at all, and then of course nothing in the head. The mouth does not open. Very, very static. It just kind of sits there and looks like, well, a rat. So with that being said, let's take a look at some comparisons. Taking a look at some comparisons for Beast Mode, here's Rat Trap next to his fellow Maximals, the Voyager class Optimus Primal, and the Deluxe class Cheetor. And last but certainly not least, got our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus and the Mortal Kombat 11 spawn. So with that being said, let's get this guy transformed back into his robot mode and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while the core class aren't exactly the most complex or interesting figures in the Kingdom line that I have looked at thus far, I gotta say Rat Trap, being a core member of the Maximals team, is a pretty fun little figure. Yeah, the beast mode's a bit static as far as posability goes, but most of the time my figures are in robot mode anyway, so that's not that big of a deal. I mostly transform for the sake of the reviews, and once we're done with that, they'll be in robot mode all the time, so really not that big of a deal for me personally. Then it does look nice aesthetically. As far as the robot mode goes though, I think it's a pretty nice robot mode. There's a little bit of looseness here and there, but nothing you can't fix or deal with. I do wish the gun broke up into two parts like the IDW Generations Deluxe class figure. That one also had a wired tail, but I know they couldn't do that at this scale, so I'll let that slide as well. I will say I do like the Deluxe class a little bit more than this one, although this one's got it beat as far as any ankle articulation goes. I don't think that old one had any. So with that being said, if you're at all interested in completing your Maximals team, I highly recommend you pick this guy up. He is a core member of the team after all. Gotta have them, especially if you're gonna pick up Dinobot, because as far as I know, they were buddies, right? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. Again, we got another full week of videos for you guys. You ain't sick of me yet? You will be! And if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions for live unboxing videos of all kinds of stuff. We'll get back to that sooner rather than later, I think. But in case you're interested in watching some of the older live videos, I do post them to IGTV, so you can watch them in their full train wreck glory at your own leisure. As always, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this figure, if you like or don't like this figure, if you are jonesing or gonna pass on this figure. He's getting a little tricky to find now. You could pretty much buy him online anywhere, but as far as retail store shelf life, he's far and few between, I think. Mr. Bryan did have a hard time finding him at first, but eventually we got one, so that's what really matters at the end of the day, right? G.I. Joe Classified Series, I'm looking at you. So, with that being said, don't forget to keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.